Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jack, and this is a 35-minute flow, well-rounded flow for those of you that fell off the yoga bandwagon last year. I am one of those people a bit myself. I know I've been making these YouTube videos, but I used to have much more of a consistent personal practice, as well as I really thrive going in person. But this class is designed for those of you to jump back on the bandwagon and to show up and get on the mat and move and flow. It's just reasonably challenging, and I give a little bit of verbal inspiration and remind you that it's okay to begin again. So I'll see you on the mat in a few moments. Let's go ahead and get started today in a cross-legged pose. Find a nice, comfortable seat. Take the shoulders onto the back and allow your eyes to fall closed. You might draw the ears back a little bit in line with the shoulders and let the chin slightly tuck towards the chest, just ever so subtly. And notice how your body is feeling. How are you doing? What's your energy? Try to let go of any value judgments on whether you are feeling really awesome or not. Maybe this feeling of showing up to your yoga practice has been somewhat few and far between. But the great thing about yoga is it is always there to meet you where you're at. You can always begin again. And the true advanced yogi knows that. So if you're coming in a little bit tighter, a little less strong, that's totally okay. Welcome that to the table. And with that, let's begin to take a few deep breaths. Take a big inhale. And an open mouth exhale, release. Deep inhale. And open mouth exhale, let all of the air go. Nice. Inhale into the belly, the side ribs, the chest, the collarbones, fill it up. And open mouth exhale, let every last drop of air leave the lungs. Very nice. From here, gently flicker the eyes open. Let's interlace the fingers and open the palms up towards the sky. And I want you to find a little bit of side bends here, just going side to side, maybe rounding forward or opening the chest up towards the sky. Just moving the torso in planes of movement that we often really don't in our day-to-day lives. Good, and then take your right hand to your left knee, take the left hand behind you, and find a really gentle twist. Now here is really the first moment that we're going to practice control. So although you might want to make this the deepest twist that you've ever done, that's not what we're doing right now. So just gently twist and focus more on elongation out the crown of the head. Good, on your next inhale, come back to center, reach the hands above the head towards the sky. And on your exhale, twist to the right. Take the left hand to the right knee and the right hand behind you. As you sit up tall, draw the head back a little bit and continue to breathe. You might even close the eyes. Very nice. Inhale, come back to center. And then let's go ahead and just roll forward, plant the palms, and come into tabletop pose. And as you come into tabletop pose, let's just make sure our shoulders are stacked over the wrists, hips are over the knees. Take a look at your hands. Make sure the V that your pointer finger and your middle finger make is facing forward. And then just begin to make your way through some cat-cow movements, but link it to the breath. So as you inhale, you come into cow pose. And as you exhale, you come into cat pose. You might barrel roll the spine a little bit or circle the hips. Feel free to find organic movement. This practice is going to be really well-rounded. So we're going to hit lots of different movements. We're going to open lots of different parts of the body. Just kind of work through some of the potential rustiness that we've all cultivated over the last year. Take about 2 more deep breaths. Very nice. And then go ahead and find a flat, neutral spine. I want you to walk your hands about an inch forward, so a little bit of a longer tabletop pose. Tuck the toes and press back, downward facing dog with bent knees. And as you bend the knees, wrap the biceps forward, stick the booty up to the sky, melt the ribs towards the thighs. Take a big inhale, come onto the tippy toes, straighten the legs, lift the heels really, really high, wake up the thighs. Exhale, press the heels back and down towards the floor. Nice. Pedal the heels out a little bit. Make sure that the shoulders aren't moving forward, but keep really pressing into the hands to send that kind of distribution of weight back as the hips move up and back as well. Very nice. Good. And then from here, really slowly walk your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine, and pause. Now as you pause here, make sure your spine is actually flat and have the shoulder blades squeezing together. Lift the head up just a little bit so the gaze is about 3 feet ahead of you. On your exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Bend the knees, perhaps grab opposite elbows. So we're going to hit some of the main movements of a sun salutation first, and we're going to move through it really slowly and pause in each space to let the body reacclimate into these poses, and then we'll begin to kind of move breath to movement after that. So from here, let the hands hang down towards the mat. Let's inhale, sweep the hands above the head towards the sky, meet the palms and look at your thumbs, drive through the heels. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center for Samastitihi. Very nice. Now I want you to close the eyes and bring the arms down by the sides. Feel that the second toes are facing forward and you're putting equal weight from the front of your foot to the back of your foot, from the right side of the foot to the left side of the foot. And then from there, root to reach the crown of the head a little bit higher. Open the eyes, inhale, sweep the hands above the head, meet the palms and look at your thumbs. Exhale, forward fold, so hands through heart center or swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. And exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Exhale completely. Inhale, reach the hands above the head, grow tall. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, hands rise. Exhale, forward fold. Finish the exhale as you come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, create some length in the spine. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way above the head, meet the palms, look at the thumbs. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Good, one more half sun. Inhale, hands rise. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way above the head, grow tall, meet the palms. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Very nice. Inhale, hands rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, come a little bit deeper. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, touch the hands down, step the right foot back and bring the knee down to the mat. Good. Low lunge, inhale, sweep the hands above the head, or half crescent lunge. Nice. Now pause here. Go ahead and feel that the hips move back over your right knee. So they're probably sinking forward. Send them back over the right knee. And then I want you to tuck your tailbone down and lift your hip points up. Pull your lower ribs in. Feel already how that stretch in your right thigh gets a little bit more intense. Now, as you root through the front left heel, spread the toes. Without sticking out your butt or splaying out your ribs, sink your hips a little bit lower, but reach the arms higher and wrap the triceps inwards. Very nice. So I want you to do it like this every single time we come into this today. On your exhale, take your hands back down and step back into downward facing dog. Good. From down dog, inhale, plank pose. Pause and hold it. Now you can always drop the knees, no big deal. But feel that your legs are strong. Send your glutes back towards your heels and feel that the lower ribs pull in so the upper back is broad. Simultaneously lift the head up and broaden your shoulders. Now hinge forward on your inhale. Exhale, lower down and pause at the bottom. Elbows in, elbows in, elbows in. Good. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Come all the way down. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Make sure your fingers are in line with the middle of the ribs. So I don't mind if you're using the arms to help you here, but I really want you to feel that your hands want to energetically drag you forward as you squeeze your shoulder blades down your back. Now for a moment, tuck the chin towards the chest, draw the ears back in line with the shoulders, so the neck is in extension with the rest of the spine. Good. On your exhale, lower down, press up, tabletop pose, and then all the way back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, inhale, reach the right leg high to the sky. Pause here, square the hips, flex the right foot, drive through your hands. Take a big inhale when it comes. Exhale, step the right foot in between your hands at the top of the mat, left knee down. Good. Inhale, sweep the hands above the head. Once again, go ahead and draw your hips back over your left knee. Now, as you tuck the tailbone and pull the lower ribs in, reach the arms. Sink your hips low without sticking out the butt or splaying the ribs. Good. Feel this. Let it come into the muscle memory of the body. Continue to breathe. And then exhale, bring the hands down. Step the left foot forward to meet the right. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale from the feet, reach the hands all the way above the head, meet the palms. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Good. Now breath to movement on the other side with all of the awareness of alignment. Inhale, sweep the hands above the head. Exhale, forward fold, empty the lungs. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step the left foot back and bring the knee down. Inhale, hands rise. Remember that alignment in the hips. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog first. Plank pose, inhale. Elbows in, chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog or a cobra or a locust. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, reach the left leg high, drive through the hands. Exhale, step the left foot in between the hands, bring the right knee down. Inhale, sweep the hands above the head, lower ribs in. Exhale, hands down, step forward to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, create some length. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, sweep the hands above the head, wake up your glutes. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Very nice. Inhale, hands rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, exhale, step back into plank and hold it. Press all of the finger pads into the mat. Take an inhale, lift your head. Exhale, chaturanga, lowering down. Upward facing dog or a cobra, pull yourself through. Wake up the legs. Downward facing dog, press back on your exhale. Very nice. So we're going to come into a little side bend here. So keep the right leg straight. Turn your right heel in so your right foot is in like a warrior one position. So the whole foot is grounded. Bend your left knee and then draw the right hip up and back and create a lot of length in the right side body as you shorten the left side body. Drive through the right hand. Breathe a sense of spaciousness into the side body even more. Very nice. Come back to center. Turn the left heel in, left leg is straight. Ground the entire foot down. Bend the right knee. Now as you shorten the right side body, draw your left hip up and back. Press through the left hand. Feel that the outer tricep, outer shoulder wants to wrap back. Just as much length on this side as you had on the other side. Leveraging length. Good, and then come back to neutral. Let's take an inhale, look between the thumbs. Exhale, bend the knees and step bridge float all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Now a little bit different, bend your knees, Katasana chair pose. I want your arms to be in line with your ears, the weight into the heels. Feel that the legs are incredibly strong. And sit a little bit lower. Very nice. Take a big inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward and hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, create length in the spine. Exhale, step back into plank pose, and then I want you to lower all the way down to the belly. Once you get to the belly, come to your forearms. Don't interlace the hands. Just make sure the forearms are like a number 11 shape. Now tuck your toes, palms face down. Lift up into forearm plank. Feel that as you drive the forearms down, the lower ribs pull in, the upper back rounds a little bit, kind of like cat pose. No lazy legs. Wake up the thighs. Feel the power in the lower belly. Really nice. Give it 2 more breaths. Can you breathe in a constant and steady pace? Nice. On your exhale, bring the hips all the way back down to the mat. Let's inhale, broaden the chest for Sphinx pose. Exhale, plant the palms, tuck the toes, high plank or tabletop, and then all the way back into downward facing dog. Really nice. From downward facing dog, inhale, reach the right leg high. Now listen very carefully. You're going to roll your right hip open, but keep the right leg straight. Don't bend the knee. Now as the right foot is flexed, keep reaching the pinky toe side of the foot as high as you can to the sky. Take a look with your eyes at your left ankle, and if you can see your left heel poking out behind it to the left, hide it behind the ankle. So draw the left hip up and back. Now, bend the right knee and continue to reach the bottom of the foot to the left. Inhale, stretch the right leg long. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands, and then bring the foot slightly to the right. Ground the left heel back and down, warrior 1. Sweep the hands above the head towards the sky. Good. So as you reach your arms, there's no sense of apathy in that reach. As you drive through the left heel, feel that the outer left hip comes forward until it stops, and then when it stops, let it stop. Good. As you, for a moment, sit nice and low into your right leg and pull your hip points up, pull the lower ribs in. So contain the torso. Really nice. On the exhale, interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale, open the chest, open the shoulders, take the gaze up and back. Exhale, bow forward for humble warrior pose. Can you keep the shoulder blades squeezing together? Don't let the right knee move from being over the ankle. It's exactly over the ankle. And then feel that as you drive down through the left heel, the torso could slightly fall towards the left. Really nice. On your next exhale, bring the hands all the way down to the mat. Now listen carefully. Keep the left hand under the left shoulder. Roll to the pinky toe side of your back foot. Heel toe your right foot halfway back and turn your toes out to the right and come into a modified side plank with the right foot planted. Reach the right hand high to the sky. Very good. So the left hand, as it presses down, also wants to rotate towards the left energetically. Take the head back, squeeze your glutes, and press that right heel into the floor. Really nice. Now reach the right arm by the ear, face the palm down, and lift your left hip even more. Make this a big side bend. Nice. Plant the right palm and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into a plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Good. Interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale, locust pose. Peel everything up and away from the floor. And exhale, plant the palms, tuck the toes, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the left leg high. Now step by step here, peel the left hip open, keep the left foot flexed. Don't let the right heel poke out towards the right. So keep the right hip drawing up and back, and then bend your left knee. Feel how much more power and length and extension there is here. Good, and then from here, let's inhale, stretch the left leg long. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands slightly to the left. Ground the right heel back and down, rise up, warrior one. So warrior one is a very strong pose, and the body might be feeling tired, but I want you to cultivate muscular energy and strength to help support you here in this pose. Lower ribs in, inner right thigh back, left knee over ankle. On your exhale, interlace the hands behind the back, opposite pointer finger on top. Inhale, lift the chest up to the sky. Exhale, bow forward into your humble warrior pose. Torso slightly to the right, but you got to scoop that left hip back and in. Let your head be heavy, and let your gaze come to the right ankle. Keep the breath going. Sometimes we feel the inclination to hold or tighten the breath in hard poses, but I promise you the breath is there to support you. So let yourself be resilient. Good, take your hands down. Keep the right hand planted under the shoulder. Roll to the pinky toe side of your back right foot. Heel toe your left foot back about a foot. Turn the left toes to the left. So all toes facing to the left. Reach the left hand high to the sky. So the left foot, the pinky toe side of your right foot, and the right hand are all pressing down so firmly that you can be really strong in this modified side plank. Now face the left palm forward and reach the arm by the ear. Lift your right hip even more and make this a big side bend. One more breath. Nice. On your exhale, take the left hand down to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Really nice. Inhale, come forward into a plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Really nice. So we're going to get into the chest and the right shoulder. Bring your right arm into a cactus shape on the floor. Make sure that right elbow is slightly ahead of the right shoulder, and the right wrist is in front of the right elbow. So cactus. Good. Now, with the left hand, press the left shoulder and left hip open to roll on top of the right shoulder and right hip. Let your head be heavy. You can bring the left palm open on the back. You could also bend the left knee and plant the foot behind your leg. Whatever feels appropriate and good for you. But if you've been sitting at a desk a lot this year, like most of us, like me right now, you're probably feeling this in the front of your right shoulder and your arm. So take it easy, but also know this is necessary, and breathe deep, full, spacious breaths into the right shoulder and the right side of the chest. 2 more breaths. Good, roll back onto the belly, and let's do the same thing on the opposite side. So bring that left arm into a cactus shape, slide the elbow up a little bit, left ear to the mat, and then roll open right shoulder and right hip on top of left shoulder and left hip. Plant the right foot behind the left leg. Breathe full and complete breaths. Notice if this side is a little tighter than the other side. Usually one side is, due to your dominant arm or just kind of the way that we sometimes even do yoga can be slightly imbalanced. And that's why we're just bringing our awareness and our attention into that. Very nice. Now slowly, go ahead and roll back onto the belly. Plant your hands in line with the middle of the ribs. Tuck the toes. Press up, high plank. And then all the way back into downward facing dog. Let's take a few deep breaths. Big inhale. Open mouth, exhale, release. Deep inhale. And open mouth, release. Good. Now, who can do and get back on the bandwagon yoga class without doing pigeon pose? So let's inhale, reach the right leg high. And on your exhale, take outer right shin to the mat. Make sure right knee is in line with the right side of the mat. Left leg is long behind you. Take a moment, prop yourself up, create some length. Open the chest, take the head back a little bit and power the legs down. Then on your exhale, go ahead and forward fold and rest into your pigeon pose. And remind yourself, or let the pose remind you, why you do yoga. I always feel like pigeon pose, at least I may be speaking from my own experience, but I'm always reminded, oh, yoga is good for me in this pose. I'm also like, wow, my butt is tight. And not in the good way. Let's take 5 more slow, full, and complete breaths here. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and slowly, slowly rise all the way back up onto your palms. Tuck the left toes. 3-legged dog. Reach the right leg high to the sky. Bend your knee and open your hip. Good. Now bring your shoulders just a little bit forward and flip your dog. Let your right foot fall all the way over. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. But if you do, do it. Reach the right arm by the ear. Wrap the pinky finger in. Lift and open. Remind yourself of your resilience and strength, even if this year has been, somewhat of a frickin', let's say an ass crack. I don't know. That's not the right word. Okay, downward facing dog. Go ahead and come back. And let's just come to the next side. Inhale, reach the left leg high. Exhale, pigeon pose. Left knee to the left border of the mat. Right leg long behind you. Take a moment before you rush. Inhale, broaden the chest. Press the legs down into the floor. And on your exhale, go ahead and forward fold and hinge at your hips. Breathe, relax, and feel. If any judgment comes up around how tight your hips are or how this pose feels, cut that. Cut it out. Cut it out, girl. We live lives full of stress. Yoga is actually one of the things that should be helping you feel better. And by comparing yourself to how you were once, or how you would wish to be, or how that one, girl on Zoom looks, well, that's not going to bring you any happiness or joy. Take 3 more deep breaths here. Good, and then as you feel ready, plant your palms, tuck your right toes, inhale, rise yourself all the way on up, kick the left heel back to the sky, bend the knee, open the hips. Now move your hips slightly forward, and then go ahead and shoulders as well, and then flip your dog, let your right leg fall all the way over, your left leg fall all the way over towards the right. Good. Lift the hips, squeeze your glutes, reach the left arm by the ear and wrap the pinky finger inwards. Feel the power and the resilience in your body. Good. Then come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into a plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, lowering down. Upward facing dog or a cobra. And an exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Good. As we take this last downward facing dog of practice, I want you to feel complete here. One of the things that makes us come back to the mat is this feeling that you are enough, that you are good enough. And sometimes we fall so far off the bandwagon that we can't find a reason to come back. We think, oh, we've already we fell too far away. Well, I'm here to tell you that is not possible. Anyone can do yoga. Anyone can start again. Just feel your downward dog and accept it exactly as it is now, because it is perfect for you in this moment. Tomorrow it will look different. In a year it will look different. But right now is what you have, and it is enough. Take a big inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float all the way through and lie yourself down onto your back. Once you get onto the back, we're going to go ahead and just hug the knees into the chest. Stretch the right leg out long and firm the right thigh down into the mat. Maybe scoot the hips a little bit off to the left, and then reach the left arm off to the left and bring the left knee across the midline into a supine twist. And relax the belly here, relax the gut. If you have a mindset of scarcity or a goal-oriented mindset of change, you are going to come back to this. You're going to do this practice forever, hoping to achieve some sort of, physical state that is not you now. But you'll never meet that space, because the space of being perfect is an internal feeling. So when you allow yourself to just show up and do things to cultivate your health and wellness with a feeling of acceptance that you are the way you need to be, the more you can just access that contentment right now that you're gonna otherwise, search your whole life to find, but never reach. And this is a very difficult practice, extremely difficult. I don't even say that like in a joking way. This is something that has troubled me my entire life. And I even say this to you now without fully being able to realize that point and accept it and live it that way. But we kind of say the intention in yoga, even when we can't do it in the beginning. We say it, we remember it, and we show up and we do the practice. Come back to center, hug the knees into the chest. Maybe scoot your hips a little bit to the right, stretch the left leg long. And then go ahead and reach the right arm off to the right. Guide the right knee across the midline of the body to the left. Big supine twist. I think that this year has kind of brought each of us to an edge that we never knew was possible. Yoga reminds us what is truly important. Yoga brings us back to this state of calm in the midst of a wild and chaotic world. Come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Happy Baby's Pose. So as we come into Happy Baby's Pose, this symbolic space of a baby, we are all yoga babies this year. And the great thing about being a baby is that the baby has no clue that they have a lot to freaking learn, a long road ahead of them. But they are just curious for the present moment. They are content, holding on to their feet and looking up at the ceiling and being totally present in their own skin. So we take this baby-like wisdom of not knowing, of having a beginner's mind, but complete trust and curiosity for our own physicality. And we come back to the practice with that open heart and open mind. Hug your knees into your chest, round the forehead to the knees, squeeze all of the air out of the lungs, and stretch out into your final resting pose, final Shavasana. Thanks everybody for joining this practice. I hope that you have a wonderful Shavasana. I'm going to leave a minute for you at the end of this video so you can just rest. I welcome you to practice with me here on the mat. I will post new videos once or twice a week. I hope that you know that there are no prerequisites for my classes. You just do what you can do and you let go of the rest. And if you've fallen away from the practice, like me a little bit, just know that the door is open for you to step back in. And you don't have to be skinnier, healthier, happier. You just have to frickin' show up. So see you next time. Namaste.